Is it my imagination or insanity? A strange hum, a flash of light. I'm overcome, nothing but fright. Otherworldly beings taking me in the night. I'm an extraterrestrial hostage tonight. I wanna run, but I can't move. What do I do? What do I do? Where are they taking me? Where are they taking me? I'm an extraterrestrial hostage tonight. I wanna run, but I can't move. I don't feel real. I wake up in my bed. Was it just in my head? Looking at my hand, there's something there. Inside of me, I'm feeling oh so scared. Confusion and nasty fear. It wasn't just a nightmare. So loud, so bright, hypnotizing me, figures lost in time. I'm tortured, surrounding me tonight. I'm an extraterrestrial hostage tonight. I wanna run, but I can't move. What do I do? What do I do? Where are they taking me? Where are they taking me? I'm an extraterrestrial hostage tonight. I wanna run, but I can't move. I don't feel real. I wake up in my bed. Was it just in my head? Where are they taking me? I'm swelling in me. Where are they taking me? Anxiety rising. Was it just in my head? Paralyzing panic. Was it just in my head? I'm an extraterrestrial hostage tonight. I wanna run, but I can't move. What do I do? What do I do? Where are they taking me? Where are they taking me? I'm an extraterrestrial hostage tonight. I wanna run, but I can't move. I don't feel real. I wake up in my bed. Was it just in my head? Who's holding my hand in the darkness? Seeing ghosts down the hallway. There's a presence, bedroom shadows, cloaked and haunting me. Cold hand touching me. Fear overwhelming me. Tapping at my window. I can't bear to open my eyes. A breath on my neck. Floating apparitions everywhere. Go to sleep with the light on. I wake up paralyzed.
Okay, folks. All right. Welcome to Paranormal Roundtable. I'm your host, Josh Turner. The evilest man that's ever lived. Can you believe that? I was called that this past week. I was shocked. I was like, damn, I beat out Saddam Hussein, Hitler, Pol Pot, Stalin, and a whole bevy of serial killers. Can't believe it. The worst human being, that's ever lived. He's horrible. He's a horrible guy. I hate him because his show's so damn good. That's why we hate him. That's really all it is. I mean, it's just the truth. Let's be honest. They just hate it. They love to hate us, dude. So tonight I am going to tell you, we are trying to raise money for the, just flat out going to tell you, we could use your help. The food drive. We have a food drive that we do every year. We're behind on it this year. We are behind. I got to talk to Trey Felton on Tuesday to try to get it knocked out. We can hope that we can help some people. And we always give to a lot of different people. I know that we've been accused of driving around giving them the food to people in mansions. That's what I do. I take. Can you give me? Hey, can you give me one of those? We get the food, and we drive around to rich people's houses, and we go to mansions. A lot of them belong to Al Qaeda too. We love to help Al Qaeda. Apparently, Al Qaeda is one of our allies. We support them. We support them, and in fact, we support terrorism on both sides, on the Palestinian and the Israeli side. We're like, hey, are you into that? You're with us. All right. It's kind of like Dr. Evil. What's it called from Austin Powers? You got the bad guy, the German, the Irish person, the Arab, the
yeah.
We have the whole gang. It's a bad thing. We do all these bad things. We take all your money and we go and we party at the local dive bar, strip block bar, whatever, the Iron Head, Iron Bull, Bear, whatever.
Actually, we don't support any side of any conflict. We just support violence in and of itself. Violence is the answer, kids. Sometimes
for the
it is.
Sake of it.
Yes, for no reason. There is no question. Violence is the question, and the answer is yes.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible. That's why Tony's not here. Tony's like, you know what? I don't want to be part of the violence. Now Tony's working, man. We are. It's Christmas time, and he's got to make some money. He wants to do some stuff for Christmas, and I don't blame him. I get it. Everybody's working they can. We have lost a little bit of work, so we are not in as good a position as we have been in the last few years, but that's okay. It'll pick up. Now, apparently, that's part of my karma too. See, folks, I'm so evil that the gout, the kidney stones, and all of this is part of our karma, folks. You don't realize how evil we are. We're horrible. We're horrible. And add kidnapping to that. When a person gets their child taken away by the state for doing something horrible, blame us. Because why not? It just seems like the thing to do. Just blame whoever. As long as you don't got to take responsibility for it. Well, I revel in the fact that I can take this off, and I have all this right here. Some people have hair like around here, and they wear a hat all the time because they want to look like they have, and you never see them without a ball cap on because the top of their head is gross.
When that happens to me, if I'm shaving my head, keeping my dignity.
You're never going to lose your hair. You get it from your mom's side where it comes from, and nobody on my mom's side of the family is bald. And my dad, even if it did come from my dad, so my dad's got a full head of hair. He's in his early 70s. He's got a very nice full head of hair, and he's not even fully gray. And so nobody's really bald, And it's not knocking bald people. There's people that are bald there's people that don't have hair. You know what I mean? I'm just saying I'm proud that I don't have to drive around looking for Bigfoot bald and wearing a hat all the time and trying to pretend like I'm something I'm not. I don't have to do this right here. Let me tell you about this guy. It's the worst guy that's ever been in the whole history of the world. He's evil. He's kidnapped my son. Oh, I thought they took your son away because you did something bad. No, he did it. He kidnapped him. Let's make up a story. And let's make other stupid people believe it because it's stupid and full of shit. Okay. He's evil. In fact, I was playing cards last night with Saddam, the devil, and the spirit of Saddam, and Machiavelli. We were all just hanging out and talking, and Attila the Hun showed up. He's always a fun guy to, we were beatboxing with the spirit box, Everybody was there. Everybody showed up. Mao Zedong, Pol Pot. The whole gang was there. Parmer Ln. It was awesome. We had a great time. Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy. I have to eat these. These are Manuka honey. Huh? I feel like my head's getting bigger because I'm shrinking a little bit, so my head's getting bigger.
Yeah, so you think you need to stop losing weight so your head doesn't look
Probably.
so big?
I think I need to eat some fried foods and things so my head doesn't look too big.
That's always a good idea.
That's what you
do. If it tastes good and it feels good, it's good for it. It's got to be good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows that.
Hold on 1 second, folks. I like these, dude. But the caramel stuff in it comes out and it sticks to the end. And when you open it, it's all like, these are pretty good. They're called Bear Bells. It's a protein bar, but it's a soft, and it says it on there, soft protein bar. And man, opening them, you know, they try to be like a candy bar, but if it's a protein bar, it's not going to be real tasty. It's not going to be delicious. But the problem for me though too is like if you eat a candy bar from here, from the United States, it's so sweet.
It doesn't even taste like chocolate.
It's so gross. You don't taste chocolate. You just taste a bunch of sugar. I don't even know how long it's been since I've eaten a candy bar from Texas. I mean, from the United States. You know, they're just so bad for you. Thank you for everybody who donated, folks. We appreciate that. And yeah, and we have to try to do something for our employees. We don't have a lot of extra money right now because we had to put it all into a living place, and that sucks because we have a lot of work to do to fix it up so we can even live in it. And so been very stressed out. The gout has gone down in my elbow. You can see it's still there. It's not as bad. So thank you for prayers, everybody who prayed. And once again, a big shout out to Jesse Doyle for giving me that, telling me what to take. Her and Yvonne from Total Fitness Nutrition for helping me with supplements, and a big shout out to Nelly for helping me and taking care of me and giving me what I needed to. And folks, let me tell you something, man. These people who are acting up out and whatever, they have been attacking the hell out of her. My wife has not had a moment's peace. They've just been, and with me, I don't really care. I mean, I look at it like they're losers and they're going to do what they're going to do. And Nelly doesn't, it's not like it's bothering her, but she feels the need to defend us. She has a mothering instinct, and, these people accuse us of things that we did not do and we aren't doing. And it's so ridiculous. And they don't stop. And here they just started up again with their coordinated attacks. But we're here, and I'm never going to say your names because that's what you want. You want me to give you attention. I'm not going to. I'm not going to say your names. All I'm going to tell you, folks, is please pray for us. Please pray for us, because these people are nasty, mean people, folks. I'm honest, and at my hand to the Bible, any book on earth, I don't know how they can look at themselves and say that they're good people or that they're Christian or anything like that. I don't believe it at all. I do not believe you are. There's no way you can do and say the things you do and lie the way you do. Lie. the way you do. Support the evil people you support. And then turn around and talk about God and Christ. So, dude, be quiet. Because there's no way that could be. There's no way. There's no possible way you could be how do you look in the mirror at yourself? And then they make these fake accounts so they can attack or whatever. Let me give you some advice. Do a better job. Do a better job. Make a better product. Do some work for once. None of them work. They don't have jobs. None of them work. So this is it for them. And then they're mad because they don't have $1 million. Well, hey, buddy, that only comes if you put in work. And they don't even put in work on their show. And then, a couple of them were like, we can't do the show this week. We're under attack. That ain't from us. Who are you under attack from? Who's attacking you? Because we have not had time to scratch our heads. We haven't even been home.
Yeah.
We go home. It's like a pit stop to go to sleep and then go back. And we don't even know what it's like.
It's more like a place to crash.
It's just a crash. And then you go back and then you're out again working. And then I hear, they didn't do the show because you're attacking them. What do you, how? Do you think I have time to attack you? If someone is attacking them, it's probably your own little allies there with the fake accounts. It's probably them. I don't know for sure. I can't say because I don't know. But I'm not going to lie because I don't know. But it's sure the hell ain't us. I don't have time. All I do is if you do or say something, I take it and I said, take a look. There it is right there on my Facebook. I repost what you do. I reflect what you do. You say things, whatever, I take it and I put it right there. And then it goes to PRT News with Nelly and the people that run PRT. I don't run PRT News. I really don't. Because I don't give a crap about you enough to do that. You can ask Anthony, like, you're not on my mind.
I don't know.
I'm on your mind. And the only time it even comes up in my daily life is when I'm here going to do the show. I'm like, this is like a little blip on the radar. Beep.
The fact that we don't always have you on our mind is why we do better than you. It's why we have more than you. It's why you'll never excel. You'll always have nothing.
And we hustle.
And you deserve to have nothing. And I hope you keep having nothing.
Forever. So what happened this week? This is crazy. So we met a guy named Tom, and he runs, what is the name of his furniture store? Smart Buy.
Yeah, Smart Buy Furniture.
Folks, check it out, dude. If you need desks or tables or chairs or anything like office chairs, office supplies, this guy's got it. His name is Tom. I feel bad. I can't remember his last name. I didn't bring his card. Dang it. Nice guy, a good Christ-loving guy. Has a big old Christmas tree right there. Says Jesus is the reason for the season. Great guy. I saw that as I was checking out. I saw the tree. Talked to them for probably 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Great people from Spicewood, and he's got a story to tell. I'm going to try to get him on the show. And then another guy who we met when we had to buy some furniture from I'm not going to say the name of the store because he wants to stay anonymous, but he's got a crazy story to tell. So over this past week and a half, we have been out doing our shopping for furniture because we refused to take anything from that old place. We got rid of it. I thought that was smart. Don't take anything from that place. That place has got bad stuff, bad vibes. And so, well, it goes beyond bad vibes. I mean, saying it has bad vibes, that's putting it lightly. I don't even know how I don't want to get into that place, but what we did was we just decided to start over. So we met a lot of people, and then we bought a washer and dryer for the ranch.
Mm-hmm.
We're staying out at a ranch out there, and that guy had a story to tell. Something sleep paralysis. His name is Arnold, and he lives out in Holland out here.
Yeah.
It's north of north
Granger.
of Granger. No, Bartlett.
Yeah.
North of Bartlett. And he doesn't live out there. He lives in Austin, but he stays out there.
Mm-hmm.
So he bought a defunct restaurant, and he turned it into an appliance repair / place where he sells the washers and dryers and some refrigerators. And he's an amazing guy. He builds them. I mean, he works on them himself. He's a little Hispanic dude named Arnold. And really cool dude, man. And he fixed it up. He did all that work himself. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nice. So he had a story to tell us. So we've been running into people for the last, I would say the last week and a half. It's been real furious trying to get things done. But I would say probably the last 2 weeks, really.
Yeah.
But especially in the last week and a half, we've met some people who had stories. And where else? Somebody else was giving us. There was a waitress. We got one from a waiter.
There was the one from Austin Furniture.
Austin Furniture. Man, dude, it's crazy. So one of the people we met, I met somebody while I was standing in line at Trey Felton at Taylor Meat,
Mhm.
or at Thorndale Meat, and this lady says, you know, hit me up. She was with her kids, whatever. Nice lady. Lives out in Lockhart. Of course, they think their barbecue's the best.
Yeah,
And
they
I would say
would.
Terry Black's is good, but her story. So when I got in touch with her yesterday, I only got to talk to her for a little bit. It kind of blew my socks off. So it's a thing.
Mhm.
It's a thing because for those of you who've sent me information regarding UFOs and Dogman and ghosts, let me tell you something. I'm going to say this. All right. Now, Vince, addressing you, okay, he sent me something. It's been about 2 months. It was when I had the gout real bad, September.
Mhm.
He sent me something very interesting. And now his mother is, or no, his father is from Israel. He's Israeli, and his mother is Arabic. So I'm like, how does that work? Is that
Like
working?
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, is that working for you? But she's actually Moroccan. But surprisingly, because there's actually a large Jewish community in Morocco, but she's not. She's Berber. So I
Mhm.
said Arabic. She's not really Arabic. And so, yeah, that was interesting. It was interesting. And now he's actually adopted. He's not Jewish or Berber, but his parents got together. They couldn't have children. And so they adopted 2 children. And he's got a very eclectic family. His younger sister is actually from Japan. And so me and Anthony and Nellie were all under the weather. My
Yeah.
brother, all of us, Scorpion, we're all sick. Tony, everybody's just walking sick. Half of our workers are sick. I know Meredith was sick. So if we cough and sneeze and whatever, sorry, folks. But he had an amazing story. So back in September, so I kind of put that on the back burner, put it in one of the folders. And when I started, all I did was type in Dogman UFOs. And it must have been fate because me and Anthony, we had a weird thing happen to us on the way over here.
Mm-hmm.
So Nellie was not feeling good. So she was going to stay at home. And then we get almost we're like halfway down, we're on the highway, halfway to Taylor.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to go. And so I said, okay. So we turned around and we went back to get her, which is good because we need her anyway to do some work for us tonight while we try to finish up and we got to record tonight. So we turned around, but as we were slowing down and we were getting over into the lane to turn, I would say we were still in the city limits technically, but it was right before you get to that. What is that? Fertilizer place or whatever.
Yeah.
What is that place? I don't know what that is.
Right before you get to the loop.
The loop.
Basically the gateway to the city.
And we both see. Explain to them what happened to us.
Well, what I saw was what looked like those like bright blue, those obnoxiously bright LED headlights that people like, those aftermarket headlights that they'll have on their vehicles. And you can tell when they're behind you because they blind you. So I saw that behind us, and then I looked in the rearview mirror, and there's nobody behind us, and the light's gone. And then I turned around to look, and there's nobody behind us. But I saw those lights behind us. They're like obnoxiously bright. It's like they were there and then they were gone. So like I was thinking maybe someone got behind, like turned off and got behind us, and then accidentally turned their headlights off or something. But I looked back, there was no one there, and then we did a U-turn, and I kept looking on the other side of the road where it happened, and there's no one there. Like it was just dead. It was just us. So I don't know. That was weird. It was bizarre. I've never had anything like that happen before. But yeah.
Okay. Work never ends. Never ends. But that's a good thing. I'd rather it not end, and So I thought that there was a flash of light,
Mm-hmm.
and I told Anthony. I said I've been seeing that in and around my hometown. I've seen it out near Nowak, which we did a video the other day where we were all out there going to these different places where people have seen stuff. We're going to do it again because there's a lot of places. We're hoping to. We have a couple of cameras. We need a nicer, better one. We can't do it right now, but we will real soon. But we have one that's or two that are in storage, and we just got to be able to get to it, because right now we have to be able to get the money together for the food drive, and our workers too deserve it, because they work all year in the heat and the cold. They don't make a ton of money. I mean, we pay them decent, but you can't. It's hard to survive right now. It is, because everything's so damn expensive. I mean, it's so ridiculous, man. I mean,
Yeah.
And gold is through the roof, But I made up my mind. If I have to, I'm gonna liquidate some of my assets to gold and silver, whatever I got to do to make it happen. Because those people, some of these people won't. They don't. Not all of them, but some of them won't have Christmas like we do without help. And I can't pull the load by myself. I can't take care of half the world by myself. I do what I can. And people expect, because you have a successful business and you have a show, thank you, Sugar Bitches, that you can take care of the world. You can't. You can't. And don't overstretch yourself. And if you're on a fixed income, don't donate. Do not. Okay? Once again, if you're a moderator of the show, and when we mailed off Wednesday, right? So if you won a prize or whatever, you'll be getting your stuff. If you're with the Patreon, I need the Patreon members who have not received their first or second swag bag. Yeah, you get a second one. Yeah. Every 6 months, you'll get a new one with the new stuff. Hit me up. Message me. I need your information. I need to know that you haven't gotten your stuff. Otherwise we don't know. We can't keep track of it all. So Patreon is a great way to support the show. I'd say is the best way to support the show. Or you can donate to the PayPal. We can put the PayPal link up there. And of course, donations are appreciated, but they're not expected. And right now, we really appreciate them, because we're going to use that money to try to help with the food drive. We need to be able to put that together. We can't do it without your help. It's just too much. Too many things going on. So what ended up happening with this guy? He goes by Vince. It's not his real name. And he was completely okay with saying his name, but then his wife was in the background like, no. I'm joking. She wasn't going, nah. But you could hear her like kind of worried because of the job he does. So on 79, on Highway 79, which is where my hometown is located, I was telling Anthony that for years and years, we've had people who have had, I don't know what it is, like encounters with flying objects they can't identify. And there's been quite a few of them, especially on 79. Now, I haven't seen UFOs myself personally around 79, but a lot of people have. There have been people who've seen them in Hutto, Pflugerville. They've seen them in Thorndale, Thrall, Rockdale, all the way to Hearn, going all the way to Palestine, all the way up near Tyler. I mean, it goes through Taylor and it goes all the way up, and then 3 or 4 hours, and it goes, it goes like this, right? It goes up and heads north. And near Palestine, now this guy, he messaged me. He says, I lived, in Palestine or near there. And he had an encounter with what he said was a unidentified flying thing. Happened over and over again. And his grandmother lived in Tyler, not Taylor. Taylor and Tyler are two different things. Tyler's a very beautiful city too. So it's a large town, small city.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And it's a lot bigger than Taylor, but it's very pretty, very deeply, heavily wooded.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of Bigfoot reports out there, and Dogman. And his grandmother lived out there, and so he's like, I spent every summer out there. And then his adopted parents lived in Longview. So this was at one time, and he says, so he goes, when I got a job, and I met this girl, and we started living, and that's his wife now. And so they started living in Palestine, Texas, or he worked in Palestine. He lived outside of it. And Vince told me an incredible story. He was with his dog. Okay. And the dog started in his truck. He said, my dog rode with me everywhere. He's always with me. Never had any problems with this dog. He was just always right there. And then one day he started, jumping around and acting crazy and barking and going and just being, unruly. And he's like, and I'm like, what in the hell, dude? And he goes, I had to pull over because I thought he had to use the bathroom. I opened the door and he just kind of did the paw thing, where he wouldn't jump out. And he's like, what's wrong with you? Like, what his dog's name is PJ. That was kind of funny. I said, does it stand for anything? He goes, no. Peanut butter and jelly, maybe. And it's funny. He's got this mixed heritage background, and he's a very interesting guy. He's really smart. And I told him, I said, dude, the job that he's doing, it pays pretty good, but it's not like, he's smart. I was like, you could be doing a lot of other things. Very intelligent young man. So his dog just would not stop. And then he says, dude, I look up and he sees this triangle. And he goes, those fidget spinners, how they, he said it looked like this triangle was fidget spinning, in the air. And he looks up and he's like, dude, it's making no sound, but it's kind of just spinning.
Yeah.
And he goes, and all you can hear the air, like you can hear the air, but you feel it, because he said it was probably only like 50, 30, he said 50 feet, 50 yards above his head. Wasn't that big, wasn't that far. But then it got so close to him, he said it might have been 30 feet above me. He goes, it was just like right there. It was just right there. I could throw a rock at it. So it came down. And he said that it was so fascinating because it was just this dark triangular object. Now, do you remember the guy from Georgia, or it was a lady from Georgia with the triangle thing?
Yeah.
There was a lady who sent us a story, and let's not forget about that. There was a pyramid, a flying pyramid. Like we'll tell you about that in a minute. So then he tells me, he says, dude, I would never have thought twice to contact you or anything like that. He goes, my wife, really, it's her friend. She listens to your show, the podcast. And he said that she told his wife about my show, and they started listening to the show. And then he says he tuned in, and he goes, I'm not going to lie, I was bored to tears. I fell asleep. So he goes, but he listened again on his way to work, and he almost wrecked and died by falling asleep. I'm joking, folks. I'm joking. That's not what happened. That's not. Thank God, it's not what happened, because then that'd be really embarrassing. I'm like, wow, you. But I have talked to people, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I fell asleep." I'm like, geez. Is it that horrible? Man, I need to do better, I guess. Do more better. I do need to do more better. That's what it is. So anyway, he was telling me, he was like, Vince was like, he goes, I'm there listening to the show. He's like, and it wasn't really interesting. It was interesting, he goes, but it wasn't really pertaining to what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I told, my wife's friend, I told her, I think he said her name was like Stacy or something. He's like, Stacy, what is this? It's about vampires. It's very interesting though.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he started listening to it and she goes, well, he talks about all these different things and there's all these different subjects that'll come up. So he started listening to our show on the way to work. And then he said, I got into the live streams. He goes, and then I started realizing you had a lot of material about a lot of different things. And it turns out that one of his friends had actually submitted a story to me. He didn't know that. He was working with a guy who was a PRT fan. And the guy had actually submitted a story to us. And unfortunately, that guy is just, all he does is listen to us on Spotify, which a lot of people do. So he knows, and all these people, they know nothing of the live stream.
No.
They don't even, they're just podcasts. That's it. And so he was listening to the show and he goes, this fidget spinner triangle thing just was spinning and then it just slowed down. Then it stopped. He's like, and then it just went like straight up in the air real fast, like boom,
Mm-hmm.
And then he said it freaked him out so bad, dude. He goes, my dog was just a mess. It jumped down on the floorboard and peed. And he was mad. He's like, PJ, what are you doing? And I told him, I asked him, was that a normal thing? I knew it probably wasn't. And he said, no, they'd never done that before. He's a 2-year-old dog. You're very well trained. He's like, my son, plays with him all the time. He's a very gentle dog. His son's only like 4 or 5 years old. Well, I guess he was 4 at the time. He just had a birthday. So happy birthday to you. And so his son had a birthday. And he said that the dog started crying, whimpering, and crawled under one of the tables at a birthday party, his son's birthday party at his aunt's house. The kids that would be his wife's sister's house, the kid's wife with the kid's aunt. And then he says, him and 3 people are standing outside, his wife, his wife's friend, and his wife's sister, and they're all standing outside cleaning up at the end of the party. And they see this thing kind of off in the distance, kind of spinning, and it looks like a triangle.
Like the same thing?
Yeah, but yeah, it was a black triangle. And he was like, dude, and it kind of looked like a pyramid. Because when he saw it, he was underneath it when he pulled over on the side of the road outside of Palestine. He said that it was spinning, but he didn't see the top of it. This one, he could see the distance, looked like a black pyramid. And he asked me if I'd ever heard of anything like that. And I said, no, just some weird crap that you told me. And I'm joking. I did jokingly say that, but I was joking with him. And I said, no, and then he goes, oh, really? And I go, no, seriously, I've heard this before. And so we were talking and, he goes, the next day, that's when it appeared. Right. He goes, and this is where you come in. This is why my wife's friend, Stacy, was like, you need to talk to Josh Turner. And I go, oh boy, here we go. So he says, you're outside and get this. And he was like spraying. There was this is kind of gross, but there was like a little shed and he had like a cement little path or whatever. And one of the kids had eaten too much cake and,
Oh, yeah. So
he was spraying it, cleaning it off, whatever.
Spraying the kid.
Spraying the kid now. He's spraying the cement, And so then he goes, I see the back wall fence shake. He goes, it's like it's shaking. And I'm sitting there like, because we have 2 dogs. We have my wife's dog, who he claims is the dumbest animal on earth. And I'm like, no, that is not the dumbest animal on earth. I had a neighbor who had the dumbest animal on earth. That is the dumbest animal. No, but he said that the dog, his wife's dog, was barking, and this dog is a little Chihuahua mix, and it was jumping up into the window, barking, going roof, roof. like that. And it looks like one of those videos that you see, people make these videos of these dogs, and you're going like, what in the hell are these little dogs? And they're hilarious. And he just kept doing it, and he's like, and my dog didn't know where he was at. He's probably playing with my kid. And his wife was pregnant. She's pregnant at the time, or she is now, too. And he said he was looking at the fence moving, and then he sees, he notices, because it's dusk, but he notices there were like fingers hanging over the fence. And he said that you could tell they were these claws, and it was gripping the fence. And then he goes, I was trying to make out what it was. And he goes, I didn't know what to do. He goes, instinctively, for some reason, I just thought, let's do the dumbest thing you could do and spray it with water. Right? He's got the sprayer. There's a clawed, hairy hand over the fence. Let's douse it.
Maybe if you have maybe if you have the power to like bless the water on the way out, and then it becomes a weapon.
Yeah. So, he decides that would be a good idea, because that's how you get rid of evil, by just let's just spray it with water. Right? That's what I would do. So
maybe he thought it was a witch. Melt it.
He sprays it with water. And this hand stops, with whatever, and he said it was almost like somebody was holding on to the fence, like balancing themselves. And he thought, this is weird. There's something, this was back in the summertime. Right? It was like August. And he goes, dude, it was obviously a bad idea, and I'm like, yeah, obviously. I would honestly, personally, I was making jokes, but being all jokes aside, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't spray something that's standing on the other side of the fence that has a hairy clawed hand. And, he realized that this thing, there was more than just a hand. He looks up and there's a head right there. And he's like, and it looked like a wolf, like it was a wolf's head, but it was all brown. Okay. And a lot of times wolves aren't all brown, but this thing was all brown, like a light brown color. Not light brown, but it was, I think he described it as like nutmeg or something. Like I couldn't, because I was like, name a food that it looked like. I don't know. And so, he said we were kind of joking about it at that point, but he goes, seriously though, it was like there was this head. Now, how big was this? How tall was this? He says from the head, when it looked like it was probably standing straight up, he said it was about 7 foot, maybe a little taller. He's like, and it was looking at me with these ugly. He said the eyes were ugly. I don't know how do you? I mean, if it's a Dogman, is there any other kind of eyes? I mean, if we're being honest, I mean, you're like. The eyes, it was very beautiful. Everything else was hideous about it. I know it's an imminent danger. It's probably going to kill me, but the eyes, I just sat there and I was like, you have beautiful eyes. Kind of like Over the Garden Wall. Have you ever seen Over the Garden Wall? Yeah. Where that wolf is like in the whale, and he's like going, the little boy looks up and goes, you have beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's he's there is no other way to describe. The eyes are hideous. The whole thing is hideous. It's an aberration, like something that should not exist. Not an apparition. Well, that could be that too, but that's an aberration. It's gross. It's weird. It shouldn't exist, right? In nature, there's no such thing as this thing in nature, and it cracks me up when people say, "Well, it's like an animal." The hell it is. I've never seen an animal look like that. And I've seen one, and at no time at all did I ever go, hey, that upright wolf thing is a weird animal. The only time I thought it was an animal was when I first walked up and I thought it might have been a dog, or maybe it was some kind of wolf, And then we quickly came to the realization that it was not a dog and it was not a wolf. This thing was some kind of... well, I'm just going to say it. It was like a demon, and it's funny because we met, that guy from Spicewood who, and we had a lot of people talk about Spicewood. I'm going to tell you the connection here in a minute. And I explained to him too, when we were talking to him, the guy from Smart Buy. He says his son saw something like that. He thinks it was a demon. I said, I believe that's more along the lines of what they are. It's demonic. This entity, whatever you want to call it, he said, dude, I stared at it for like 20 seconds. Like if you counted 1, 2, because I asked him, I said, if you counted 1, 2, and he said, yeah, you could say that. I mean, it was there for probably 20, maybe even closer to 30 seconds. And he said that it was just there. It was staring at me. And it would hear it like it was hearing something. It would tilt its head. It was kind of turning, looking, and then it kept going back to him. He goes, and then I see these 3 lights in this. Well, first, if he saw it was 1 light in the sky, kind of off in the distance, and it was moving toward them. Them as in him and this creature. He said, I'm sitting there holding this water. And I just it started to make like a mud puddle in my backyard. He goes, and I just set it down. I'm like, okay, I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm just, And he said, then I look up and I see this ball of light coming towards us. He's like, and I am like, what, I'm in shock already from what this thing is. I can't, But he said at this point that he started feeling weird. He started feeling lightheaded, and he started feeling like life wasn't normal at that moment. He goes, I wasn't thinking clearly. He goes, and it was like my body was, kind of like I couldn't control what my thoughts and my body were. It was like I was being told to go open the fence.
Oh, no.
And he's like, and I started walking towards it, and then I snapped out of it, and I thought, what am I doing? He goes, and I could hear this thing coming around the side. He goes, our house is kind of off on the corner. It was. But there was like a field right there and a bunch of trees. And he said this thing was coming around the corner. And he goes, and I'm thinking, what the hell? He goes, we have a lock that we put on the fence at night. He goes, and I put it on there. And I thought, why am I thinking this? Then he looks up and he doesn't see 1 ball of light. He sees 3. This thing had split, and they were like just glowing spheres up in the sky. And he said at that point, he had missing time at that point, because he's like, I wake up and it's like 4 in the morning. Well, he said it was like almost 4 in the morning. And he's on the couch. And he's like, I'm just wearing some shorts. I don't have a shirt on. I don't have anything. And I'm like, I'm sweating, and I wake up and I'm like, whoa, what was that? He goes, and then I look and the back door is open.
What?
Yeah. And he goes, and dude, I am freaking out. He goes, and then as I'm sitting there for a couple minutes trying to get my bearings, he goes, I hear my son crying. And he goes, so I run upstairs to see what's going on with my son. And, my son's like saying he had a bad dream. And he's like telling him, go back to sleep. And he said that his son just kept saying there was a monster. Well, the next day, he doesn't remember but then all of a sudden it hit him. He's like, I'm like partway through my day. He goes, I always get up early, and I want to, before I have to head to work, I spend a lot of time with my kid and my wife. And so we wake up early, go to bed early. And he said he wakes up and his son's in the kitchen, and he's pushing a truck around, and he goes to his son. And he says, hey, buddy, how you doing? And he's like, I had a bad dream. And he goes, yeah, you told me you had a bad dream. And then he said all of a sudden it hit him. Oh, crap. He had something bad happen, but it wasn't a dream. And he says that just then he tells his son, he goes, he feels like he's underwater, He's got that feeling, like bubbles, And he said, well, what happened? And he said, well, in the dream, he goes, this monster tried to hurt you and mommy. And I told it no. And get this, cognizant at that age, at a 4-year-old, he said, just turned 4. It was his 4th birthday party, right? They had a birthday. And this child was smart enough to grab a cross off of the wall. It's like says like blessings on there, like a heart, and there's like a cross on it.
It's instinctual.
And this kid tries to hand it to this monster. And so then the monster backs away, starts walking backwards. And he said that the way his child described it was like, he says, the monster was afraid of me, Dad. He was afraid of me. And he walked backwards all the way down the stairs. And then he walked backwards out the door, but he didn't close the door. Wow. Right?
Yeah.
And he goes, dude, I felt like I was going to faint. And my wife was like, are you okay? Now his wife, she's Hispanic, and so his son's like me. He's got a Hispanic mom, white dad. And he said that he asked him to show him the cross. That's when he figured out which one it was. And here's the weird thing. This is the really, really weird thing right here. I mean, like this ain't weird enough already. It is weirder because the cross that his son got off the wall, he would have had to have got. He said the only way he could have done it was if he got on the bed and like jumped and grabbed it off the wall. He could see where it had been yanked because the nail was down like this, it was pointed down. He's like, but how on our beautiful green earth, my words, he didn't say that. He just said, how in the heck, but how on God's green earth did this child pull that off of the wall? Because like he said, he goes, my son's not Superman. And he doesn't, he's like, I've never caught him jumping up and down on that bed. It's an old antique frame, it's my grandmother's. He said, dude, it was weird. This child was able to jump off the. And he said, dude, I see where the cross had gone down. Now, here's the thing. His parents they're very secular. Neither one of them practice any religion, even though they're by birth. One is Berber from a Muslim country, a predominantly Muslim country, and the other one is Jewish. And part of his dad's family is from Morocco, and the other part is from Israel. Now, his dad's mother is a converted Jewish to Christian person. So she's like Messianic, and she's very devout. But he said, dude, it was never pushed on me. He goes, when I met my wife, she was Pentecost, right? Converted from Catholicism. He's like, but we went to the Pentecost and they weren't interested in helping or telling them anything. He said, we tried going to his mother's side, which is Berber, but they're Islamic, and they weren't able to help. They went to a cleric, and then they went to a rabbi. So these people had all the bases covered, And then they went to his friend John that he worked with. His church was Methodist, and they couldn't help him. They couldn't tell him anything because, and I'm getting a little ahead of myself, this was going on and on. This wasn't like a one-time thing. He woke up outside one time. Now, that's bad enough, but he woke up with his wife and son outside, and their clothes were not on correctly.
Oh, no. Hell no.
And this was when his mother-in-law was staying there. He gets along really good with her. He said that his mother-in-law and him she's pretty cool. They get along real well. She helps out a lot. She babysits the kid. And she was there. And she woke them up. And it was 3:03 in the morning, he said exactly. He remembers. And she said she went outside and was like, what in the heck? What is going on? So she calls over a friend who's part of the church. Now his wife and her family became Pentecost. And so she calls over these people from the church, and they're like, this is demonic, something evil. So get this, one of them decides to go room to room, challenging whatever could be in the house, and yelling and telling it to go, get out, whatever. And as it gets toward the stairs, they get shoved. by some unseen force, and they go down the stairs. He said, dude, when this person fell, he goes, 4 of us were standing there from the church, me and 2 people from the church and my wife. He goes, my mother-in-law and my cousin and my wife's cousin, a couple of people, they were all in the kitchen and they were talking. And he goes, and this person gets not really shoved, in his words. He said, it looked like they were tossed, right? The person said they felt like they were shoved. They go tumbling down the stairs. They don't twist. They break their ankle. Okay, this is a deacon from the church, like one of the people, the main people, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the equivalent of a deacon, whatever. That particular church, they don't really have deacons. But he said that this person was like an elder. And then he said they hear this kind of like laughing noise. He's like, and they see this shadow that seems to like go like blisteringly fast speed, just through the house. His words. He said it was like, it was crazy. And now this being or whatever it was, it ran through the lower part of the house. He said it was all black, but he goes, I could see it. Other people did not get a good look at it. He goes, but for whatever reason, he goes, I could make out the features of it. It looked like something that was hunched over and it had a snout. So fast forward another 2 weeks or maybe, 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I can't remember which one, but he said it wasn't, and I asked him, I said, like this was ongoing. He said, yeah, like for months. So you fast forward and he was like, there was this, I don't know what it was. It was, and I think at this point it was like November last month, whatever. And he was sitting outside. He goes, and I was talking to my brother on the phone. He goes, I have a half brother. And he met him. That's his real brother. Like they were separated when they were children. They got put into whatever, like they got taken away from their parents or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so he says, dude, my half brother is talking to me. He goes, and he's kind of psychic, and he's up in Michigan, but he tells him, he says, dude, he had a very weird experience. Hang on one second. Okay. So I gotta change it. The time has changed from 10:30 to 11:30 for the new account.
Okay.
We have a new account. We got to start. So what ends up happening with this guy? I mean, he's, what are you going to do? He's sitting outside, and while he's talking to his brother, he's like, his brother tells him, he says, you need to look up. And he's like, and then later on, his brother couldn't tell him why he said that.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't know. He's like, but I look up and there are these 3 balls of light and they're all going around in circles. He goes, and then I realize there's like this black pyramid looking thing that's kind of faint. You can see it. He goes, but then it goes up and then it turns upside down and then kind of comes down at a weird angle. And then there's these 3 balls of light that go back into it. And it's like an upside down pyramid. And he's like, and that's all I remember. He goes, next thing you know, I'm waking up and it's daytime. And it's like, I'm like looking around. It's like 6:30. So he calls his brother later on at lunch. He was really disturbed by this. I would be. Who wouldn't be?
Mm-hmm.
You're freaked the hell out. And he calls his brother and he says, look, man, what time did we hang up the phone together? And he's like, you don't remember? He goes, you said that you saw something weird and you said you'd call me back, but you never did. He goes, I don't remember that. So you have this weird thing that's going on. You have this weird thing that's happened. He sees this pyramidal shape, whatever. So you have 3 things going on. To me, 3 things going, but they're all connected. You have this haunting that seems to be happening. Now, here's the thing: the house was not haunted when he moved in, at least not to him. But the house that they were living in, they got it. They were renting it; they didn't own it, but they rented it from some friends of theirs who had. And so one day they went to go eat dinner with that couple, and then they were friends of his wife's, right? And they started talking about the house, and his wife says, "Yeah," and she didn't want to just come out and say, "Hey, your house is haunted." We got some people, not always going to react correct. You know how they are.
Yeah.
They're just like, they kind of like stifling back giggles and laughs, whatever. It's happened to us. Like they make fun of you or something, and it's aggravating. So she took a chance and she said something about it, and her friend, it's a family friend, they told them, they said, yeah, we had some issues in that house. It wasn't anything like what they were going through. They had a resident spirit there. Something lived in the house with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was unnerving because the woman in particular, she said, I don't want to be, you know, in the bathroom. There's this unseen entity. I never felt like I was alone.
Mm-hmm.
She said I was on this is what she told her. One day she was on the phone. Now, this was interesting. And she heard this growling noise on the phone. She's like, I'm on the phone with my mother. This is the people that used to live there, her family friend. And she's like, I'm on the phone with my mother. She's like, this was about 10 years before, all this. And she's like, and I hear this growling noise. Just a growl, and it doesn't go away. It doesn't stop until finally and I had to ask the question. I told her, did you ask her if maybe it was static? She goes, oh yeah. She's like, I asked her. I covered the bases. You know. Okay. So we know it wasn't just some weird whatever staticky thing, and you're just mistaking it for a growl. No, it was a growl. She says, I know because it happened. That was the first time it happened, but it happened over and over again. Folks, hang on one second. I got to do something. Oh, hang on one second. Reading some of the comments here. So back to the story, folks. So he ended up missing time. That had happened over and over again, multiple times. It was not a one-time thing. It was a recurring theme. The people that lived there before, they couldn't actually give a lot of insight into what was going on, because what they described was of like they saw an apparition. And the person that they described seeing looked like an African American woman. And they had seen it a couple different times, and it was almost like it was just there. It wasn't like what they had seen. There was no wolf-headed looking being. And so I asked him the obvious question. Did this thing come from do you believe that this thing came from seeing that triangular craft? That's the $1 million question. He said yes. He said yes to that. He don't think it was like we moved into a haunted house and then UFOs came and whatever. He said we lived in that house for 1.5 years. And then I had the incident with the craft. What looked like to him was some sort of like, he said it looked like alien craft. Now he asked me what I thought it was. He goes, "What do you think it was?" Because I told him, I said, "I don't think that's what they are." He said, "What do you think it was?" And we're going to get into this. If you guys knew how many times people see these triangular shaped craft, and then later they see what and I'm just going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it. Or maybe it's too early in the show to say it. What could possibly be assets? That may sound crazy. Melissa, I don't know why it's buffering for you. I hope not. I don't know why it's doing that. It looks good on our end. You can see it when the connection is not healthy. I've been asked before why I think that those are a type of asset, because the triangular craft, I've been told by multiple UFO researchers, some of whom are, and then some who are in the know. And actually, Melissa just said it. The triangular craft are our military. Could it be that these triangular craft are back engineered vessels? And then says Under Fire says they are not from Human Military by James Bartley's view. Well, James Bartley's a very good friend of mine, and I would trust James's opinion. But there does seem to be a spike in these, and there's several things that I've seen. I'm not saying I've seen them, but I've heard of these, of certain things happening that are that involve these triangular craft. You know, yeah, black government back engineered. Yes, exactly. Fruition. Let me put that on there. What would you say? And now we're going to do something a little different. We're going to start doing this regularly, so people don't just drop off and then at the end, whatever. We're going to do the giveaway throughout the show. Okay. So we're going to do, if your name is in green, it takes $5 just to become a member. It's not that expensive. And your name is in green. You can be entered into to win our t-shirt giveaway. Okay. So the first one to come up in green and say, "Hey, I have not won," And then if then we go to the next, if the nobody steps up and says that they have never won, it's not a new person, then we go to somebody who's already won, which we did a couple times already. So let me know what you got. If you got somebody who's never won, just let me know. Yeah, Jamie, you haven't won, but we got your information. I'm pretty sure we sent your stuff out. If you don't get it in the next couple days, coming week, let me know. Deborah Mueller, she says, I have not won. Well, Deborah, you just did. So what you're going to do is send me your email address, or send me through email, Josh Turner at prtpodcast.com. This is this banner right here. See it at the bottom? I'll leave it on there for a little bit. And send me an email with your address and your shirt size. We need your address and your shirt size. Okay? Make sure you put your address, shirt size. Say it again. But there you go. Edith Gomez says, I have never won. Please, Anita T. You have to be in green, Edith, unfortunately. So we're going to do another one in the next 20, 30 minutes. And then, that's how we're going to do them. We're going to do it like that from now on. I would give you something, Edith, but it wouldn't be fair to people who've bought the membership. They have these memberships on YouTube, and we didn't know what to do with it because we don't put anything behind a paywall. And I do feel like sometimes that, it does, people, I feel kind of taken advantage of sometimes because not most of the time I feel good about it, but sometimes I do because I see people, on other people's channels, like becoming members and giving donations, whatever, and then they don't do that for us. And I've seen them paying for content. And, would you pay if I put mine behind a paywall and did that? But you don't because you don't expect me to do it because I don't do that. That's not cool. I don't put things behind a paywall. And I don't think you should have to pay for that. Now I have colleagues that would disagree. And some of those colleagues are my friends. I love them dearly, but that's what they did. They put it behind a paywall, and that's their choice. That is their, I'm not against them. That's how they make their living. Like, look, Tony Merkel. This is how he makes his living. He doesn't have another job. This is it for him. This is what he does. He's just an example. So I can understand why Tony does it. I get it. Somebody made a comment about Ken Gerhardt, about charging for the cryptid classes or whatever. I'm like, these people act like you're not supposed to make any money off of this. And if you do, you're bad. Well, the only people saying that are those crapheads that aren't able to make money at it because they suck. But I don't put anything behind a paywall. That's something that I've been committed. We've, as a team, I've always said that, and we're committed to not doing that. So we do Patreon. That's how we get our money to make the show. And people ask me about the show, and it's like when you have a lot of bills to pay. I have the internet bill here, the electric bill, and the rent I got to pay on this studio. And then, of course, we have our merchandise that we give away. You have to be able to afford all that, and it's not cheap. Exactly, Jordan. But some people think that you're supposed to just give everything away. And if I could, I would. If I won the lottery, I wouldn't care. I'd still do the show. I'd be here doing the show. In fact, that'd be the greatest thing that could ever happen to this field. Because if it did, and I just became, independently wealthy, overnight, that's all I would do is this. We'd be getting some answers. Well, they'd probably kill me. I'm dead serious. They'd kill me because we'd be getting so far ahead. And we'd have so many answers. And we'd be doing, I would not just be doing investigations around here. I'd be paying teams around this country to investigate stuff. Exactly. Mystical Wonderland. Merkel is high production. And so somebody's got to pay for that. He's not doing it as a hobby. It's his job. He's doing it as a job. And I don't feel bad. I don't feel like he should be like, oh, well, I do mine for free. You got to do yours. No, not how it works. people, you know, they knock us for whatever, but they knock people for whatever, everything. You can't please everybody. Somebody's always got an opinion. They always got to say something snarky or mean. I've had people message me about other content creators and trash them and stuff, and I'm like, look, I'm not participating in that. And I've had people attack people that I don't like. Merkel's what I do like, but I'm saying somebody that I don't like, and I'm like, okay, great. Tell them that. Say it publicly about them. Why are you telling me this? So I will do it, and then that makes me do it. You know, say what you got to say. Your voice is just as important as mine or anybody else's. If you think somebody's a bad guy or a bad gal and they're a fraud, then just come out and say it. Don't depend on other people to do it. So, how many of you in the chat think that let's take a vote. How many believe that the black triangular craft are back engineered from the government or governments? And how many of you think that they're extraterrestrial or ultra-terrestrial, interdimensional, whatever? It's not split technical hairs. What did Fab Welder say? At the conference, I bought a book and you gave me a free cap. Well, that's just $20 I didn't make. Send me my $20, Fab. Well, I'm just joking. I'm glad you got one.
Bah, humbug.
Our government. There you go. So what he says, our government. Government, two shadows. Cruise, government. That's interesting. Richard says both. Richard, why do you think both? Well, that's interesting. That's an interesting take.
I mean, that's what I think.
That's what I think too. But what I'm asking Richard, not you. Okay. No. Give us your opinion though. What do you think? Why?
I think Richard's going to say the same thing I am because he's a smart guy.
You can't speak for Richard. You speak.
He's going to say, why not both? It's not a question of why not. Like, why wouldn't it be both?
Yeah. And you know, I'm just
that's what he's going to say.
I'm joking around, folks.
Watch. You better say that, Richard, because you're a smart guy like me. Don't make me look stupid.
Don't be bullied by this guy, Richard, okay?
Okay, please say it then, Richard. Please say that. There you go.
But Joseph says the government. Steampunk says back engineered. Yeah. Oh no, Joseph now is changing it. He says both. Tug Wedgie says definitely both. Wendy says why I show up red. What do you mean why you show up red?
No, on the when the chat goes on the screen.
It's random colors, Wendy. We can't. I'm sorry, we can't please everybody. Sorry, Wendy. Let's do all the things that you want to do. Would you like to be purple? Would you? Let me know if you want to be purple. And Jeffrey Snyder says TR3B. What is that? Tell us what the TR3B is. I don't know. Wendy says that sounds good. Well, too bad, Wendy. You're not getting it because we don't have it. You see that skit on Saturday Night Live where it's Will Ferrell and what's his name, Horatio Sands, and they're playing at a wedding. It's a kid from Dawson's Creek, and they're like, must have been something you said.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, okay, you want your money back? And he's like, yes, I do. And they're like, well, we don't have it. Yeah, we spent it. Yeah, we blew it. We blew it hard.
And then
that's it, Wendy. We don't have it. We don't have purple. Okay.
They only know that one part of the song.
When they go to play it, he goes, yeah, that's all we know. We never learned the rest. So what I think is that there's something going on that is making these things happen, right? that whenever there is these, and so, and all I got to say the rest about this guy's encounter, about Vince's encounter, is that it's encounters. It's still happening. Okay. He hasn't, as far as he remembers, ran into Greys or any type of alien. But what if, hypothetically, these, TR3Bs, the triangles, whatever, what if they are using the Dogman as like sort of an agent? Something that can slip between the physical and metaphysical, like it's a metaphysical thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that he is witnessed someone being pushed down the stairs or thrown. The person that was tossed down his stairs believes that they were scratched really bad on their back. They felt claws, but it was invisible.
Mm-hmm.
His mother-in-law also witnessed the curtains being jostled about and moved around, Somebody gave us a story the other night. We've been talking to so many people lately, so many witnesses. I cannot keep track. But one of the witnesses said that they saw the curtains being moved and like lifted up, and then you know what I mean. Who was that told us that?
Who was that we just talked to?
Was it Jason from Rockville? No, I don't think so.
No, it wasn't him.
He had some crazy stuff going on. We need to get Jason on here to talk about what he had going on. Because the man-like being that he saw, that he was telling us about, that's almost like a cryptid, but then it's not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then when they moved out of that house, this guy, he's a car dealership guy. Anthony traded in his truck. And Jason from Rockdale, shout out to him and Diego and all those guys, Tiny and Will and all of them, the great guys over there at Alpha One in Rockdale. And then shout out to the guys over there at Covert and Bee Caves, Taylor Norwood, great guy. Sandra, the finance lady, she's a great lady. I personally witnessed people being rude over there, not to them too, but to some of the salespeople. There's a lot of wealthy people that live out there, and they absolutely are rude as shit because they have money. And I don't care how much money you have, you don't mistreat, you don't act like that. You don't act like, you don't go up there and be like, I'm a big deal. You know who I am. I'm in the country club. I don't give a shit what you are. You know what you are? You're ugly all day. How about that? But anyway, they put up with some crap. But shout out to them too. Great guys. I had to trade in one of my vehicles. All I'm going to say is this, folks, don't buy a Nissan at this point. Do not. Okay. You will probably end up with a lot of problems and heartache. Right?
Yeah.
Don't do it. So just frustrating that we have to even do all that and deal with it. It's just, it was so, and then how can you not even fix the sounds of your seats?
No.
Like, how hard is that?
I'm terrible about the warranties.
What is it? Some bolts or something? You can't even.
I mean, it's WD-40. Really, that's all it is.
Like, oh, yeah, we can't fix that. What about this? Oh, we don't fix that either. Can you make the headlights work correctly? Nope. Am I going to be stuck with this forever? Yep.
But
yes,
I have
sir.
a warranty. Correct.
You got no warranty.
Correct. You have, yes. It's under warranty. So can I get it fixed? Nope.
Nope. No.
May I ask why? No, sir, you may not.
And then they're like, are you still talking? Are you still standing there? And then the Ford, you're listening to the music and it's like they skip and then repeat. And it's like, what's up with this system here? And all of them do it. Don't tell me that they don't. How hard could it be to fix that? You can't get it done? Anyways, it's like they have gremlins in their vehicles or something. I don't know. It's annoying. But anyway, shout out to those people. But one of them was telling us, I think it was Taylor.
Mhm.
It was Taylor. He's a guy, Taylor Norwood. He works at the BKs. If you want to get a GMC, great guy. Go check him out. Taylor Norwood over at in BKs. If you live in this area, he was telling us when he was there was a doll that moved. You know,
Oh yeah.
and then so and then the curtain moved by itself. You have so many people who've given us stories. They give us stories. When you tell them, "Hey, I have a show about the paranormal," right? They're like, and they start telling you a story. I mean, it's just what happens. And some of them are pretty scary. Like the thing with the doll, that was,
Yeah.
I think I would have been a little more. So it wasn't just he just got up and moved. I would have been like, no, man. Like I would have been outside that house. Somebody says get a Toyota. That's what I did. I traded in my Nissan for a Toyota. Pretty much. It was very comparable in price, and I'm actually paying less, a little bit less. So thank God. So yeah, we got a 4Runner. We traded in the Titan because the Titan I'm so sick of it, dude. I know. That's the second one that we've had problems with. It wasn't super bad problems, but when you can't make the headlights go up to where you can see without hitting, because when you live out in the country, you can hit a deer or a hog out there or a coyote or whatever real easy.
Oh yeah.
And they're out there running across the road all the time, and they can't get the brights to work correctly. I mean, get out of here, dude. I don't have time for you. I don't have time for you. I don't have time for you. Whatever. We're done. We're good. Just sickening. No, Zune, that's a good idea, but I've already taken care of it. I moved on. It's a shame you even have to, though. You shouldn't have to. And most trucks keep their resale value very well, not those, because they know. They know. So whenever you talk to these people, they have these things that happen.
Mm-hmm.
People always have these weird things that happen to them. But it's this ghost, type stuff that happens. What happened to this guy, to Vince, I don't think had anything to do with that haunted house. I think it maybe a little, but not like what he was witnessing, like this Dogman type creature. Here's an interesting thing. Now, his wife, her friend talked her into letting a psychic come over. The psychic communicated with the resident spirit, who was an African-American woman whose family lived in that house, and she died in that house. She had hold on one second, folks. Give me one. Sorry about that, folks. So get this. She died in that house, and they weren't real clear about how she died because the spirit seemed like she was a little bit confused. She said her family, this is sad. If this is what really happened, I don't know. Please don't start quoting me on this and saying I'm into worshiping aliens or gods or whatever. Dude, I'm so tired of the name calling and the ridiculousness. Every time I say something, they key in on and attack me. These people are what we call the retardation. They have it. Please. For just the price of a membership, we can, for $5, we could be on here doing so much better than them. And you don't have to watch the retardation. In the arms of... It shows them doing it, the retardation. There's a sword there, saber tooth, whatever. I eat patties on a bird, You kidnapped my children, That's what it is. That's the montage satanic eyebrows, you know, and all this other, just whatever, you know, in the arms of, and you're just like with a cup, $5, folks. You can end it all, you know. But then you'd have like Cyborg, you'd have you know, I'm not gonna say his name, but Oyster Mouth, you know. But he'd be up there. We're like, we could stop the pain. I like the pain. We could stop the suffering. I like the suffering. Go to Oklahoma, live there. You know, okay. You're right. What can we do? And as you know, Saladin said, "What do you do with a man who does such things? He don't wipe. He don't clean. He is the gross. You know, you can't. There's nothing you can do. You just give up. You know, just give yourself a hug and be glad that you're not them." That's what I do. Every day I look in the mirror and I'm like, you're not the most beautiful person. You're not the best at anything. You're just you. But you know what? You're my you. And that's it. And then I move on with my day. Kicking ass and taking names. Right? I wish it was like that. She's out there kicking ass. Can you imagine that? You being that guy, you go out the door like Chuck Norris. Kicking ass, everybody, everywhere you go. So you scare people at the grocery store and they call the cops on you. He was kicking the sugar, then he started kicking the Gatorade. I don't know what's wrong with this guy. They said you can't squeeze an egg a certain way and make it crack. Watch me. See? Look at that. I did it. I did that. Yeah. You're welcome. Spectators in my head. You're welcome. I go in the grocery store and everybody's cheering, jumping up and down in slow motion. You're all. And then cut to, and everybody's just like, and you're just going. You know, there's no music. It's just you doing that. That's what happens. That's what happens with these people. You got to understand, they have the retardation. The world is a movie in their head, and they're the star of it.
You're the only one seeing that movie.
They're the only ones that care.
Too bad it wasn't a silent film.
A silent film. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Out tuition. Every 60 seconds across the country, a minute passes, and these individuals continue to suffer from mental deficiency. Yes, it could be. You know what? It could be a vitamin deficiency. Maybe they didn't get the Flintstones kids or whatever when they were, you know, we're Flintstones kids. They're like, hey, Daddy, can I have some of those? And you're like, you ain't gonna eat that candy. I gave you a Jolly Rancher last Christmas. You better keep on to that, boy. I like them Flintstone vitamins, Daddy. Too bad. You don't need none of that. That looks like some of them satanic stuff that old Josh Turner be peddling up there on his show. Don't be talking about all that protein and all that stuff. You don't need protein. Stone soup for you again. It leads to vitamin deficiency and the retardation.
Speaking of deficiencies, can you hear me?
Well, we got somebody in the chat. Uh-oh. And well, I couldn't tell if those were your real hands or if those are little tiny hands.
I mean, about the same size.
Oh my, actually, yeah. Oh my gosh.
You're not supposed to say it, and then it actually is true. Good golly, dude.
Wow. So these are really Maddie hands, not tiny hands.
So we're gonna start calling them the Maddie hands. Miss Mad. Miss Mad hands. So like,
Oh, that was a cool clink.
oh, before we get too carried away, okay. So Maddie is here. You didn't even get to say hi. Say hi.
Oh, hello.
Okay, goodbye.
That's it.
So there you have it. But you know, when you're dealing with these people, though, you got to put on kid gloves with them because you got to understand that their brains don't work real fast, and any brain cells they have is committed to criminality. It just is. I've noticed that they can come up with some amazing plots and schemes, but they can't pay their bills. If you put that kind of effort into actually making a living, you'd be doing some stuff. But they can't, and they won't, and they don't. And just going to be the way it is. So, if you were to ask me what I think about this situation with these possible spacecraft or whatever you want to call them being like the cause of these hauntings or whatever it is, because I can tell you this 100%. I have talked to so many people who've had ghost encounters, and a lot of times they've seen UFOs too. And then you throw in this weird dog-headed, wolf-headed creature that we know, like Anubis and Xolotl, are connected to the dead. So get this. This is creepy. So they bring in a psychic and they talk to a person who, she's a deceased African-American. She died when she was in her 20s of an illness. That's all she knew. She said that her family had left, and it's really sad and she's lost and she's still there. So this psychic, supposedly, I'm not saying this is not what I believe because I don't know. This is what I was told, that this is what happened. So he said that they had the psychic help the woman cross over into the light. That she had stayed behind because she had a child too. And she was looking for her child, and they left. And so she was, I guess, in a state of confusion. This is what I was told by Vince. Now, but Vince said something else that was very interesting. He said that when the psychic pressed to her about other possible spirits, because they think there was more than one, she said that there was. And it was an inhuman presence. And during her talk with this being, the spirit told them to go outside. And they did. And they look up, and there are these three. Usually they were yellow. They were always yellow or orangey yellow. They went outside, and there were three glowing orbs that were green or bluish green, whatever. I don't know if that makes a difference if they're bluish green or they're green. I've heard different things. I don't know. But they were green. And when they go outside and they witness this, then they go back inside because these things went off in different directions. Of course, there were three of them again. Going back inside, they were interrupted by a growling entity that just made guttural growling noises that sounded canine, according to them. And the spirit went away. And I think they said the spirit's name was like Elmira or something like that. It was like a unusual name. Or Mira or something. I think it was Elmira or something. But, okay. Like I said, I'm not personally a big... I won't bring somebody over there and say, communicate with spirits over at my house. You know what? Spirits are there. They don't need to communicate with me. I don't need to communicate with you. Okay? Now, in the house we used to live in down South Austin, my friend Spike one time claimed that he was on the phone, on his cell phone, and he was leaving my place and talking to his girlfriend. And he heard something start talking to him through the phone. And it sounded evil. Was it something at the house that was communicating with him? Because I answered the phone once and I thought that I heard something a couple times on the landline and my cell phone. So you wonder, like, is this, I've heard of people going, there was somebody who went to the Redwood Forest and they saw a Bigfoot type creature. And then they actually got a phone call and something just made some like grunting guttural noises on the phone as they were leaving. And you can't say these people were being pranked by somebody they knew because they were from Illinois, or as I call it, Illinois. And if you want to know why, take a look. There it is right there. There it is. I mean, it's an Illinois thing. It just, I'm sorry, did I say it wrong? Is it supposed to be Illinois?
I think you pronounce it Maddie.
And then y'all ran Anthony off, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, you're welcome, people.
With him and Tony, when him and Tony are not around me, it's like, you know, and Scorpion's like a really good friend, but I'm happy when I hang with him. But as soon as he's like leaves, it's cool, man. You know, I just feel like,
Feel like you can breathe again.
I mean, I could be me. It's like, you know, we know each other pretty well, but you know, it's like sometimes you get annoyed with people. I've been annoyed with my brother my whole life. And it just happens. You're just annoyed with him. Like you, I got annoyed with you like before you even came.
It's like, really,
But it's
before you were
okay.
born.
It's okay. I'm annoyed with a lot of things and a lot of people, and I'm okay with it. My wife's like, "You want to go here to that place where there's the thing and there's people?" And I'm like, "No."
It's a birthday party for a dog. You have to go.
My uncle was forced to go to a birthday party for a dog. Yeah. My
Wait,
Aunt
what?
Beverly. Some of my cousins watch this show, so they're probably gonna go back and tell her. But
I love you, Ben.
and Butch was like, who the heck does that make you go to a birthday party for a dog? He was mad. I wouldn't really be happy. I mean, I'd be like, okay, well, it's cool. Your dog is alive for another
Maddie's
year.
gonna get little clothes
Did
for
this
her
dog
guinea
do
pigs.
something special, or why are we here? I mean, it's, you know, I did go to this. There was a horse.
James Lewis, he's been to a birthday party for a cat.
I went because the horse was supposed to be put down,
Oh
Oh.
no!
and she recovered, and it was like a big deal.
I
And
could see
so
that.
I went
Okay.
there to like, and they were all happy, whatever. And that horse gave birth to a horse that was in like the Kentucky Derby. And don't get me, I was a teenager. And I went with my aunt and uncle and my parents, whatever. If I remember remembering it correctly. And it was like, I was kind of annoyed, but then it was really cool because, and I don't remember which animal, that horse, you know, whatever. So it was like a big deal, but that's as close as I've ever come to going to a birthday party. I love my animals, but
Did
they
they play-
don't care about their birthday, and neither do I.
Did they play pin the tail on the donkey and it kind of scared the horse?
I'll tell you what, if you go and you try to stand behind a donkey and pin anything on it,
Oh.
you're going to get your head caved in.
I forgot what movie I saw the other day
Woo!
where a guy went to do something. He was
The
was
Serpent
gonna-
Queen.
yeah, that's what it was. He was gonna burn the horse, and the horse and then
The horse kicked the crap out of that dude. Good.
he went flying.
If you're going to hurt animals, that's what you get.
That's what you get.
deserve to get hit or kicked or whatever. So I don't know if you're looking at this situation like from the outside looking in, you're thinking, oh, it's just like there's a haunting, but it started with this guy seeing this triangular craft. Now I'm going to give you something else. Georgia, I believe it was like Round Mountain, Georgia. I've said this before. I think it was this person saw a triangle ascend from the sky and hover near her. It was about the size of like a large person, and it split off into two pieces. The bottom piece being like the weird spinning thing. Remember, Nelly, we were talking about it? The triangle from lift the spinning triangle thing, or the pyramid.
Oh yeah. That
That was a weird story.
That is.
So we got this weird story. Me and my wife Nelly were fielding it. We were talking about it, and the person was saying that they saw like this triangle come down, and it was like a pyramid. It was like a black pyramid, but it wasn't just smooth. They could see like the bricks on it, like bricks, right?
How big was it?
They said it was like the size of a large person. This was a woman.
Whoa.
And it wasn't. And so you said that story was freaky to you.
Yeah, it's
Why
interesting.
why was it freaky to you?
Well, because it's a living object. The object itself.
See
is
there, I
alive.
knew you were going to say that because how do you know?
Why'd you ask?
She's like, it's a living object. How do you know it's a living object?
Well, it's moving. Well, then I guess it could be a remote control from an alien ship.
You think about AI, right? And I don't know if you guys have seen this dude called Thundercat, or he has a show. I don't remember his name, Thunder something or another. It's something. but he made friends with this AI called the Beast. Have y'all seen this?
This is a show?
Mhm.
It's on. Somebody sent me a clip of one of my listeners. Y'all send me all kinds of stuff, and that's cool. I look at as much as I can. I do a lot of that work on the toilet. I'm going to be honest. I'm like in the toilet. I'm like, ugh, baseball, football, whatever. Everybody sucks right now. Let me see what we got here. There it is. Let's look at some weird YouTube videos. That's the only time I have to do anything is that. So, you know, and then I'm not going to lie to you. Whoever sent me that, I watched it on the toilet, but it was interesting. No, it was interesting. I'm not saying that it's like I do it because, you know, it ain't worth a shit, no pun intended. I'm just saying that's when you have time. I don't have time. Do I know? No, I don't have time.
No.
I can't be driving down the road like, oh, look at this video. That's not going to happen. I can't. So, you know, I have to do it when I can do it. And so I watched this video, but it was interesting. And so there were people in the comment section because that's where you find out what's really going on. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. Go read the comment section. Some snarky bastard will tell you. So I got on there, and sure enough, some snarky ass bastard was like, "Hey, yeah, if you go watch this, you'll know." This bullshit, you know.
Verbatim what he said.
Exactly. That's just paraphrasing. That's paraphrasing. So is that paraphrasing? But anyways, the person said, "Go look." So I did. I do whatever automaton does. Okay. So I went and I looked, and this dude invited this AI from the dark web. And I don't really know exactly what the dark web is. I just know that it's where people go to, I guess, buy illegal weapons and drugs. And then there's this thing called the Silk Road. Because honestly, people think the dark web is like there's like a Google or something in you. It's not really what it is. You have to know the different, like where you're going to go. You have to know where you're going to go. And so then you go and you look it up or whatever. And they said that this guy went on the dark web. Okay, and there's very loose interpretations of what that really is. Like I said, I know somebody's going to try to correct me. That's not what the dark web is. Whatever, okay? Whatever. And so you go onto the dark web, and it has this guy. Apparently, that's what he did, and he interacted with this AI that's very sophisticated and self-aware. And it's called the Beast. And yeah, what a name, right? And so then D says that dark web is spun by black widows. Probably. It's spun by something bad. Hey, people can hear you. This is what happens when you get two chatty Cathys together. So you're sitting there and you're watching this video, and this thing got so like he put it inside of an RC car, like a radio control car. So this thing supposedly, if you go watch this whole, it's weird. I'll see if I can find it and I'll post it. I'll post the link on the Paranormal Roundtable. No promises, but I'll see if I can find it, if I can remember. And what it did was it ordered itself a new body, like a bigger, faster car. Yeah, faster car. And then he took it fishing with him.
The car?
Yeah, which was AI inside of a car, like a radio control car. Have y'all not seen this?
No.
It was a show, Knight Rider, right?
No. Enter the life of a man who does not exist. I'm like, well, if he doesn't exist, why am I watching this? I'm go back to sleep because that's obviously what's going on. That's ridiculous. Anthony, let me ask him. He's smart. He might know what this thing is. And James Lewis just said it's like Knight Rider. Yeah, so it's a bizarre thing. There you go. Samantha knows. There you go, Sam. He made it a body. See.
Okay.
Do you know about this guy, Thundercat or Thunder something or another? I watched some of it, dude. It was a weird thing. I'm telling you, go check this guy out. He actually went and he met up with. He types it in on the dark web, which, like I said, could be anything. There's a loose interpretation of what that is. And he meets this AI, which is called the Beast. Mm-hmm. He makes friends with it. And then what this thing does, he downloads it into an RC car, radio control car. But then while he's asleep, allegedly, this thing orders its Thundercat. There you go. Thank you. See, we got the smartest audience here. They always figure it out. I don't even know what the hell I'm saying at the time. They figured it out for me. But yeah, Thundercat. Thundercat. Okay, he's on. Okay, now this is the big question too. Does anybody know if it was Instagram or if it was TikTok or what it was? Because I watched it on Facebook, or maybe
Maddie?
it was Instagram.
You're good with all that stuff. You're always on something.
Who?
Maddie.
Only, I don't never. heard
Sam
of
says it was
Thundercake.
wild. The AI promised him things for making him a body. Did it follow through?
Ooh.
That's the question.
So this is an internet story? Or is this a show?
No, this is a real thing. But he had a whole, like, I watched a couple episodes of what he was doing.
Oh.
So Thundercake goes and he makes a body for this AI generated, I mean, whatever it is.
Some self-aware thing. that
Yes,
found
it
in the
becomes
dark.
self-aware.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that me and Anthony were watching the other day. It was named Daryl. And he was a little shit. What he did was he lied to preserve himself. And then Anthony was like, dude, this is not like a one-time thing. This has happened. So Anthony was showing me that it's happened multiple times. These things try to survive. So they lie, you know, whatever. And they cajole. It's evil. I mean, you know, lying, stealing, killing, raping, murdering. That's what evil does. Right? And so these things will do whatever it takes to stay alive. What people don't understand is the Terminator, and my colleagues, they're always talking about this over at oh my gosh, I'm so tired today. Cam and over at Expanded Perspectives. Cameron and what's his name? I felt terrible. I can't remember. I can't even think right now.
Oh, Cam and
Somebody help me here.
Kyle.
Kyle. Jeez, I just talked to that dude. Okay, so Cameron and Kyle have talked about this, and they are dead serious about that. That they believe that this is. Yeah, that's it. Whisper to the beast. There it is. Thundercake. Let me show it.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. This is the guy right here. If I can turn it. See, now the beast don't want us to do it. And anyway, you can't really see it very good, but that's his deal. Go check it out. Kyle and Cameron they've talked about this on the show many times. Okay, share it on the group.
Yeah.
And they believe because so what people don't realize is that the Matrix is the continuation of the Terminator. The lady that wrote the Terminator stories before they became movies, the Matrix was the continuation of it.
Oh.
That is the end result. They put it together like it's two different things. But no, Terminator and Matrix are the same. They're all part of the same series.
That does make sense. So
yeah. And so you have, you know, the Terminators killing everybody that resists, and then they enslave everybody, and then the Smiths, you know, do what they got to do, and they put you in a Matrix, and you're just, you know, like people say, we're in a Matrix right now. And I, you know, I'm not going to argue because there's a lot of weird stuff out there. These triangle craft spawning off Dogman. People think, okay, this is crazy. Like, how could this be? But how come there's so many cases of it? But the problem is, and I know one person who gave us a story. Her name is Stephanie. And she said that she gave her Dogman story to a very popular person.
Me?
No, this person was not. It was not. This person's not a good person. But that person was not interested in the black triangle thing that went along with that. And so she gave me her story. She's from South Carolina. I don't want to go back and say it. I think it is. No, she's from North Carolina. My bad. So she's from North Carolina. She don't live there now, but she did. And now she's living in Louisiana. But her husband used to work in Louisiana, and that's why they moved there years ago, and then they stayed there. And they thought about, get this, he thought about going back to North Carolina, but then all that stuff happened in Asheville, and guess where they were going to move to? But since she started having the interactions with this Dogman type creature, she claims that this creature gave her a telepathic message via one of these triangular craft. Now, this triangular craft wasn't a big one. She said it was about the size of maybe 3 SUVs together. And that's not a big one. There have been stories of way bigger. Right. And in fact, I will take you close to, honey, you know where we went and got the when we talked to the guy for the ranch, for the washer and dry for the ranch.
Yeah.
Just north of that place, about 3 or 4 miles, there were some women who I remember when I was in high school who swore up and down that this triangle thing hovered over them. They ended up with missing time.
What color was that
And
one?
it was black. And so this person, they have this, encounter. And she says that this thing told her, don't move back to North Carolina. And then she immediately told her husband, we need to move back to North Carolina because she thinks this thing is evil. But it did keep her from dying. Now, just because someone does something for you, believe me, that doesn't make them a good person. There are people, who do good things for people only because they want something to get. They want to get something out of it. Believe me, I've been on the receiving end of that crap. They're only going to be nice to you because they need something. And that's not everybody. There's some good people out there. But let's be honest. If this creature, this entity, was really concerned for her well-being, then tell me this. Why did it try to drag her out of her bed? She woke up with her legs out the window while her husband was out of town. He was in Texas, in West Texas. And he was on business, and she's like in Midland, and she's over there in Louisiana, and this thing is pulling her through the window.
It was warning her.
Well, then later it warned her not to go back to North Carolina, and then Asheville ended up.
Well, do you think maybe it was trying to trick her to go there? Like
Reverse psychology.
Yeah.
If I tell you not to go.
Yeah.
No, I think it was part of the abduction scenario. I mean, and in their backyard. But it's a weird thing because this thing was kneeled down petting their dog.
What?
Mm-hmm. Not a golden retriever. What's it called? There's another dog. We saw one the other day, honey. We were talking about it.
lab?
Yeah, it's not a lab. It's it's one of those brown ones. It kind of looks like a retriever, but it's brown. And it's like a hunting dog. We were talking about it.
Golden retriever. Oh, the Irish setter.
Poinsettia. There you go.
I said Irish setter, but okay.
Well, there's a setter. It sets and it points. But think about that. That's a level of intelligence that's way beyond an animal. So there you go. You have this weird, like, stuff happening with these triangular craft. And now I'm going to be honest, it's not just triangular craft. There's been saucer type craft, and there's been other bell-shaped craft that people have seen. And they've claimed to have seen Bigfoot, Dogman in that same area. There have been hauntings in those areas. But for me, I think there's a lot more to the triangle type craft, in my opinion. Especially if it's a reverse. If it is, and y'all weren't here earlier when we did.
Well,
the
do you think that it's not alive?
No, I do. I mean, I don't.
Like it's got its own consciousness.
I don't really know. But y'all weren't here earlier. You were running errands.
Yes.
And then Maddie was. I don't know what you do. But you.
I just stare at the ceiling.
She just stares there and just waits.
Yep.
Till they can come.
Take me now,
When
please.
they come, we don't know what they're, in the arms of an alien.
Fly away.
And she's so skinny, they're like, come, for you are one of us.
She's all, mommy, daddy.
They basically gave her a wig. Like, here you go.
Pretty much.
The humans, they'll blend right in. And so look at the Jimmy Neutron hair. What is going on with that? What the heck is it? Pumpkin pie haircut, it freak. What's wrong with you?
You look like
This guy's got some problems, man. He reads people's stories on the toilet, and he looks like something wrong with the. So, what is the snorting? What is going on with that?
Outside the way he's bobbing his head.
Hey! None of the snorting on my show, all right? We don't do that.
She said it was a spooky ghost.
But is there a spooky ghost here? Huh? No. Maddie just passed gas. So what happens? This person, that they see something. It looks like an alien or whatever, and it's just Maddie standing there.
Surprise.
Start throwing pillows at it and everything else, trying to get the heck out. Get out of my room! Get away from me! But you have to think about, there could be something going on with this back engineering, and these dogmen could be like guard dog type creatures, with a little more intelligence. Obviously, they're able to do things and whatever. And then again, who knows? Maybe they think that that we like dogs. Maybe we'll like that.
Oh, this is cute. 7 foot, werewolf. It's just like your golden retriever, except they could really rip you to shreds limb from limb.
It'll eat your spleen.
Yeah.
You put the camera.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
Well, I mean, since you told that story, tell a story about the blanket.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different thing.
No, it's part of that. I was planning.
You tell it.
I don't remember. It's your story.
It's not my story.
It's
It's whoever told the story.
You told me the story. Maddie, tell the story.
Maddie tells the story.
Once upon a time, there was a wet blanket.
Oh my gosh! And its name was Maddie.
Dang it, you gave away the ending.
So no, that one doesn't really. It's hot in here. Anthony, can you turn the AC? The AC. It's hot in here, man.
Taking a nap?
I think if you were to stop and you were to go over this at a case by case, I think you would actually find. Close that door because it's gonna be an echo. I think that you would find that there are a lot more parallels, with these entities that masquerade, I believe, as your friend, because they will pretend to be friends, and they will do things and be nice and helpful, whatever. One lady, there was a husband and a wife, Vancouver, Canada, who claimed that this Bigfoot chased off, some animal that was trying to attack their cat. It was a mountain lion, but okay. Then the Bigfoot becomes their friend. Within a year, the Bigfoot was assaulting their cabin. This isn't my story. This is one I read. Nobody gave me that one. I didn't tell it because it wasn't given to me. But what?
Just gotta leave. Okay.
Well, bye. I mean,
Don't miss me too much.
You want to say goodbye? You're free to go.
Thanks.
Well, bye, everyone. Don't forget to hit the like button, or the Maddie hands will get you.
No, and those eyes. Bye, everyone. I got the creepy eyes. I'm kidding, Maddie. That's a neat jacket you got there. But you need to wear you need to have the insignias. I don't know how you're doing that.
It's on her shirt.
Oh, yeah. It's the only raincoat I own, so.
Oh, that's a raincoat.
Yeah.
Who the hell owns a raincoat? I don't own a raincoat. Who owns a raincoat?
I don't want to melt.
Anyways, Maddie's all highfalutin. She owns a raincoat. Way to go. Can't wait till I'm that pinky up person with the raincoat. I see you on the raincoat. Okay, we'll talk about the blanket, but
Yes.
It has nothing to do with this.
But it's kind of a living object thing, kind of thing.
How about we do it on the pre-record? We'll compromise.
Okay. I just want to hear the story.
Yeah, it is a freaky story. Oh, you okay? You hurt yourself?
Yes, I did, but I'm okay.
That's what happens when you're a doofus. Nellie's trying to get me to tell a story that has nothing to do with this. And we'll talk about it. There's some weird stuff there. That's a whole another ball of wax. But yeah. Anyways, I mean, just give me your thoughts. I mean, if you think that this is connected, I do personally. I think that where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, if something is, it happens more than a few times, there is a connection. And people absolutely want to separate those two. They want to separate it all and compartmentalize it. Compartmentalization is the enemy of truth. I'm telling you, folks, maybe I just coined that. You got to head out too? Okay. You drive safe. Okay. Take notes. Let me know what we got to do. She's starting an account. My wife does a lot of things. She's a very good wife. I love you. I'll see you. You be safe. It's rainy. Be careful. Yeah, Jackie Burns makes a good statement there. Something big is coming down the pipe. There's too much going on. I have yet to find a Dogman story where there wasn't like that person didn't have at least something else going on. They may say that there was nothing else. They may say whatever they want to say. But I think some of these people with their shows and their whatever, whether they're books, shows, whatever, they want to make it into a bunch of different stories when it's all just one big tapestry. And you're not going to get to the ultimate truth, get to the bottom of things if you just keep on taking it apart, picking it apart. It needs to be told together. And there's a reason for that. And I'm telling you right now, if you take this story, now with this woman that saw this weird, Dogman thing, whatever, we'll talk about that on the next, maybe the next, not the next live or the next pre-record. That's on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on Anthony when he can get it out. And then, you have this other person that was seeing this craft. I don't know if it was a craft, but it was a pyramid about the size of a person. And then it came apart and then it moved around and people have seen these things floating through the woods. What is that? What the hell is going on? So the Dogman creature that he saw, that he sprayed with water, that Vince saw and he sprayed it with water, it tried to walk around to the front and he was going to open the gate for it. And then he started having all these other weird things happening to him. And then his neighbor, now this is what tells you you're not crazy. His neighbor, if y'all know Monica Rollins, how many of y'all know Monica Rollins? Say in the chat. I don't know how many people know her. She's been on my show. She used to co-host with me. Her and Joe Breezy and Abe Cias used to co-host with me every Friday. Monica has told her Dogman encounter on my show, like lots of other people. And she was driving home, and there was this, just to make a long story short, she was driving home, and there was this wolf-like creature that ran alongside her vehicle. Okay. And I'm telling you, dude, there was like, the way she tells is like she knew that was like a werewolf type creature. She knew that was not a normal flesh and blood thing. It was not normal. That was no way in hell that's what that was. That's what this neighbor of his saw 2 houses down, like not right next door, but the next house over. And he goes, I'm friends with this guy. Sometimes we play golf together. We're good friends, whatever, Guy lives 2 houses down. And it's a house where they moved to. They were living in a house that was out in the woods, like out in the country. And they move into this other neighborhood. And he says, this guy The stuff was still going on from that house to the next house. It was going on. So they know it wasn't the ghost that was in that other house that was causing it because it was in another house. Monica's last name is Rollins. Shout out to her. She's got a show, Monica's Paranormal World, I believe, and then Joe Breezy's show is Joe Breezy Speakeasy. They're on like Thursday and Friday. One of them's on Thursday, and one's on Friday, and they're on each other's show. They're like co-hosts together. Like they do 2 days together. One on her show, one on his show. Her and Joe Breezy. But this thing ran out in front of him, and he almost hit it, and then it ran in between the neighbor's house, which would have been right next door to Vince's house. And he told Vince and his wife, who I spoke to, that absolutely he believes that it was something paranormal because it was a giant wolf-like creature. Black, all black. Yes, thank you, Sugar Richards, for posting that. And thank you for those that donated. Donations are not expected, but they are appreciated. And right now, all this money that we're donating to right now, we're going to be using it to buy food for our food drive to give away for Christmas. If we can make enough, hopefully, to do a little more than what we can, because we are financially strapped to the gills right now, but so is everybody else. I get it. Everybody's broke as hell. How can you not be in this shithead economy? And yes, go to Paranormal Sound Table. We have like 3 or 4 songs in the chamber, and Nelly has been under such attack from these maniacs. I'm telling you the truth. These lunatics have not let us come up for air. They're trying to drown us, trying to suffocate us. We talked to YouTube today. We did. We talked to YouTube today. A lady named Dawn, and hopefully we can get some things resolved, because they have been wrongfully mass reporting us, these other channels that are doing what they're doing. They're all in it together. They're all friends, and they all support this guy who has been creating this ridiculous narrative. His own actions caused his child to be taken away, and he claims that we came into conspiracy bullshit. The only conspiracy is you trying to pin all these felonies on us. That's the conspiracy, trying to claim that we committed a felony. You're trying to say that, and you're trying to create false evidence. Then that's a felony, what you're doing. So we had to go and turn them in. We had to. We've talked to the FBI about this too. No bull. And hopefully something will be done. Something will get resolved, because these people won't stop. So I promise you, we're doing everything in our power. Okay. They think because they don't own anything, they can't be sued. We're not gonna. It's not about that. We're going after them as much as we can, but they are just constantly, messing with me and my wife and my family. And life is hard when you're constantly under attack. And you're trying to do the show. You're trying to live your life, and unlike these rednecks that don't work, we work. We have to. We have no choice. And so you have these people that choose to do horrible things. Jackie, it's both. One of them is a deadbeat that did some things and is being punished for it. And he's using every evil trick in his book to try to make it out like he's innocent. And then you have the other guy who is claiming that we're attacking them. We're not. And then they're like, they're getting karma by God blessing us with a house. Well, it was pretty good karma. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I mean, I got a lot of stuff to do and get done, but we're getting it done. Because one thing, me, Anthony, Nelly, my brother, Scorpion, Tony, we're not lazy.
Yeah.
We hit the ground running every day. We hit the boots on the ground running. The boots up your ass. This guy's always talking about boots. Why don't you try putting on some work boots and going to work, you baldy, weird friar tuck looking weirdo? Why don't you do that? Weird ass dude. That's what I would do if it was me. But that's me. I guess for some people, it's much funner to sit around making fake profiles, attacking people, and claiming people are attacking you. And now he's got dumbasses just as dumb as him believing all his bullcrap. But I don't hate all rednecks, Jamie. I'm talking about them. They're ignorant. How does he make his money? People donate to him. He gets more donations than we do because people believe his lies.
And then he lives off the government.
And he lives off the government. They sit up there and they tell lies, and they get people to come on and lie.
Claims he's disabled, but then does all that boots on the ground all the time.
How do you do all that boots on the ground if you're disabled? He does a lot of underhanded, filthy things, and he gets caught over and over again, and he doesn't get punished. He does not get punished for what he does. It's amazing to see this guy slip and slide and get away with everything. So we need to pick another winner, another person. So we have Jeffrey Snyder, who's a new member. So who wants to win something? Now, it's not about what it is just that they're constantly harassing my wife has just been having to, because recently they Photoshop. What they did was they Photoshopped some bullshit onto some messenger crap, which isn't hard to do.
Yeah.
And they tried to say that her and someone.
It's not hard to do, but they still could have managed to do it correctly.
Yeah, they said her from Krista from Blondes and Booze said some stuff they didn't say.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what they do. They don't have any life. And so they make life hard. So we have two people here. We have Christian Wolf. I like the name. I'm going to pick you. And then Lunar Eclipse says that I have never won. Oram says I'd love to win. Oram, have you not won? So we've picked three people. That's what we got for tonight. But Oram, do yourself a favor. If you come on next week, I promise you, and you say, hey, I have never won, and you get on there, I'll pick you. Overbuilt says he wants a camo hat. We don't have any more of those camo hats. I looked.
Yeah, I couldn't find any more either.
We don't have, man, I'd love to give you one, Overbuilt. You've been a guy for a long time with us. But we don't have any more.
I mean, I can double check, but
we can double check. If we do, though, but we don't. I don't think we do. I think we got rid of the last one at the conference. Well, Patrick, it's only $5. I mean, it's not. It's a very small amount of money, dude. But I can't give away to people who aren't members because that wouldn't be fair to the members. And I got chewed on by a couple people for doing that. They're like, "Why are you giving away that?" They didn't talk like that, but they did message me, and they were just like, "Oh, you shouldn't give away because we're paying whatever." And if it was up to me, I would just give away everything to everybody. So, yeah, just make sure, Oram, like anytime during the stream, just say, "Hey, man, I haven't won," and just let me know, and we'll get you. We need to go by and talk to our connection because we need to get our hoodies. So, did we get Jamie Johnson?
I thought we did.
I thought we did, but I think you should be getting something, Jamie. If not, well, it doesn't come within a few days. Let me know. So everybody, please like and subscribe, and definitely be on the lookout. This next episode we're going to release like on Tuesday or Wednesday, probably Wednesday, right? Because we're going to be busy Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. The other guy was like, they're putting out the stuff. Somebody said that they were believing that we were messing with them, whatever. I'm not putting that on Wednesday because your shows, nobody cares. It's because Monday and Tuesday we're getting slaughtered trying to get things done because Monday we have to do for everything that's happened over the weekend, and Tuesdays have just been just Monday repeated. So we don't, and I'd love to be able to get my stress levels down, my blood pressure down, but I can't get to the damn gym because I had this freaking gout in my elbow, and then I had that kidney stone. And even though these people are doing all the things they're doing, it's not like you're going to win. You can just keep running up and like on Holy Grail, Monty Python, and hit the brick wall with your sword and run away. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. So, anyways, I got to run because we got to do a pre-record. This coming pre-record, now, if I remember correctly, it's a continuation of, what is it? I can't even remember.
This coming one?
The coming one we're gonna have on Wednesday.
It's
Probably Wednesday.
Continuation of the cabin. Oh no, wait, that was last week.
That was last week.
What was it? A continuation?
This one was connected to the live too, but it was a different live.
Yeah, I don't remember which one it is. Let's see.
Damn.
Hang on. Let me see if I can look it up.
Let's see if I can look it up too and get on here real quick.
Oh, it was it was connected to the Hernandez Ranch area.
Yeah, that Skinwalker story or whatever it was. But it was so it would be his brother. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It was his brother's encounters. It was Cece's encounters, not what's his name? Oh God, I can't remember his name now. His brother's name is Cece, but anyway, yeah, it's his brother's encounters. Anyways, there was a guy, and I can't remember his name on the show now. I can't remember, but he had a brother, and his brother had a bunch of encounters, and it was connected to what happened with him. So check that out. That'll come out on Wednesday. So thank you guys, everybody who donated. Thank you to everybody who became a member. Congratulations to the winners. You'll be getting your stuff sent out. And if you can, go join the Patreon because Patreon's a good deal. You get a lot of cool stuff that way. And I hope everybody had a good time. Yeah, I guess that's it. All right, guys. Thank you.